Hi everyone, it's Jean from Inky Owl Studio. Welcome. I have been really busy working on a new project, and I'm going to be using these lovely digital prints from My Porch Prints. This is called Birds of a Feather, and this is not a design team project or anything like that, but I am really loving these prints so much. They're lovely. And they remind me of spring with all these birds and eggs. There's just enough shabby chicness in them. Isn't this nice? These feathers. Just love these images. They're just so whimsical looking. And some background pages. These are just a few of the prints you get with it. I hope you consider subscribing to see how this project turns out. I'll show you how much I've done so far. And I was really inspired by Tanya at Tatty Treasures, and she does these 4-piece sets as well, and it just looked like so much fun to do that I'm going to try one myself. So one part of the set is going to be a small folio, file folder folio, and I have it started here with this cute bird, and so far, and then I've got 2 pockets that I placed up here. So this is kind of where I am right now with this project. And what I want to do today is I want to put in a cascading tag here on this side. Now I've done the cascading tags before using 2 business size envelopes, and I think it was like maybe 6 weeks ago or so. And it's really, I'll link down below what that particular project, how that went together. But it is it's a tad bit on the bulky side, and I wanted something just a little thinner but had the same effect. So what I did was, first of all, I printed on cardstock just lines for writing. Now you don't have to do this part, you can just use plain cardstock, but I kind of liked having the lines there, so when you get done, you can journal on the inside of the tag there. So I did that, and like I say, you don't have to do this at all. And I put a really narrow border all the way around, and I did it in Word, just took the underscore and just kept going all the way down and did like 1.5 spaces in between. And I colored the lines in sort of a brown, like a medium brown. And that's just what I did. And I printed it out on cream cardstock. So let's get started with that. The first thing you're going to want to do is cut the cardstock in half this way. So that'll be like 4 1/4 across. Now, eventually, what you're going to want to do is have 4 inches by 9 inches. And the reason I cut this in half in the beginning is if you're going to do the lines, you more likely will have some kind of a border on each side. It's just really hard to get it to go all the way to the end. So I cut it in half first, and that leaves me, if I go 4 inches this way, I can cut off most of this border here. And let me just cut that off really fast. So this is just a small detail that you may or may not care about, but I just thought I'd show you that's what I did. Otherwise, if you have just plain cardstock or you don't really, it doesn't bother you, then just cut 4 and 4, and then we're going to cut 9.5 inches down this way. So once we have them cut to size, now we're going to have to score each one, but in a different place. And so the first one, and it doesn't matter which because they're both identical, obviously, we're going to score at 1 3/4 inches. So we're going to come down to 1 3/4 and get that scored and folded. And the other one, we're going to score at 3 3/4 inches. I'll come right down here. So now we have these 2 completed. Let me burnish these a little bit. And they just basically fit in under each other. So you have this cascading effect. Now to attach them, to attach these two pieces, you can either sew down here, which is probably one of my favorite ways of doing it, or I will show you that you can also just glue. You can put a bead of glue just below the fold, a little bead of glue right along here. And let me just go ahead and do that. Just a little bead of glue. There we go. All right. And then you can just tuck this one up underneath there, like so. Make sure they're lined up. All right. And I won't move it until it dries a little bit, but later on I'll show you. You have to just do a little bending there, but it works fine. And so that is the base, which is done. And with the lines, you can see that you have underneath, you have places to write, and you have a place on the back if you're going to use the back. So the next thing I did was I chose my image. So I tried to choose an image that, of course, is going to be pretty much within the borders of that foundation. And I cut the top side and the left side just where I want the image to be. All right, so this was actually part of a page. So I took the page and kind of lined it up, and I said, well, you know, I want at least this much in there, and I want at least this much on this side. And it's good to choose a pattern that's a little larger than your base, because in the gluing, it will sort of eat up the length, especially in the length. It will start eating up your room down here, and ideally a ½ inch down here would have been, you know, probably better. This does come out, but it probably would have been better with a little bit more on the end. And then you want to come it outside this way, because you're going to cut these things off. And because if it was exactly the size of your tag, it would be more difficult and more time consuming to get it on there just right. So that's the next thing you do. Now, in choosing an image, if you're going to choose a person, or an image of you know, something that has a head on it, or whatever, animal or whatever, you want to make sure that you check to see where is that first division going to be. Is it going to come right across, you know, right across the head and chop it all off, especially if you're doing a person? So you kind of want to check that out too, so that as much as possible is left behind. And then it's so simple. All you have to do is just put glue on the top part here, and you don't want to go below. You know, you don't want to go onto this layer here. You want to keep up in that layer. And then just put your image and try to make sure that it's even there and even down on the side. And rub it in. And you're going to carefully cut this off. Now, if you want to, you can use your paper trimmer to do that, if you feel more comfortable. But you can kind of feel the cardstock as you cut along here and get pretty close to it. Now we're going to put glue on the next layer, and we're going to start just below where the top layer ends, but be careful not to get it above onto this layer. We're going to keep inside the border of this one, and we're just going to come all the way through there. There we go. And we're going to hold this down as flush as we can make it. And then we're going to take this and push it up, you know, kind of like against that bottom there. So you can get as close as you can, like so. Okay. And we're going to cut right across like this. Oops, I don't. Make sure that I come down here. There we go. And just continue all the way down the layers. I mean, isn't this really easy? And when you look at this little project, you think, ooh, that looks kind of complicated. Yeah, how am I going to get that done? It's really fun. Now, in choosing an image for my personal taste, and I guess really kind of depends on the effect, but I think that the main image needs to be well defined so that this effect, I don't know, doesn't get lost, your image doesn't get lost in it. And that could be just me, but I kind of felt like a strong image was looked the best for me. But you know, that's my preference, right? And we'll just get in here and cut. Well, actually, getting a little awkward, so I'm going to cut here on this side. Yeah, there we go. And we'll just do one more down here. And we're going to come up here to this, and we're going to go up right against that image. There we go. How cute is that? And so, like I say, it is less frustrating if you make sure that you're, see, mine just, with that border, it just came out. So yeah, if your image area is like, say, like a 10 by 4.5, it would probably, or not 10, excuse me, because when you do these folds, it comes down to, let me measure that really fast, it comes down to about 8 inches this way. So you just want to leave a little bit extra down there. And now you can journal here, you can journal here and here. Now this is the part where we glued down, and so you're going to have to put in a gentle crease, just a gentle crease. It doesn't have to be real strong, but just a gentle crease. And then you can use, if you use this as a tag, you've got this on the back. However, you can glue this in like a pocket, and then you have a tuck back here, which is how I'm going to use it. Now in the envelope one, you would have a pocket here and here and here, as well as back here. So it just depends on what you're after, right? So that is that little project, and you can start you know, decorating it up. We can put some lace up there. Let me grab some lace. I kind of like to do this at the top. Is oh, that might be too wide. How about this one here? A little bit of delicately. Yeah. See, isn't that cute? Kind of dress it up at the top. So I'm just going to finish decorating this up for the time we have left. So I don't know what you're all up to, but I suspect that many of you who are gardeners are kind of looking out their window thinking, some things I need to get done. I remember when I lived in Michigan, I started looking at the seed catalogs, and going to the nurseries and kind of thinking, how am I going to do this year's flower beds? I'm just going to kind of glue that onto there. Isn't that cute? Yeah, so here in Florida, it's year-round gardening, which sounds like it would be really cool if you were a true blue gardener. I'm just sort of like a putsy gardener, and it does kind of get old some days. It's like, what, did that thing grow again? Did it grow like 1 foot overnight? Like you're constantly trimming. Oh, it's funny. When I'm in Michigan, I was constantly trying to get things to grow, and here it is like, oh, not so fast now. Let's slow down. All right, and I might even, now she has these cute little tiny tags. Aren't these cute? Oh yeah, these are going to be so much fun to decorate with. Aren't these really sweet? So I think what I might do is take a little tag and get one for the back. I'm looking for the, yes, this is the one I'm looking for here. A little lavender on the back of it. And I'm going to glue these two little tags together so that no matter which way they flip, there'll be a little design to look at. Yeah, there we go. Put these together. And I'm going to ink around the edges really fast. So I am having a good time with putting together this 4-piece set. And I know I've been watching Tanya do it for a while. And I kept thinking, oh, that'd be so much fun. It is, really. Just something, it's kind of old but kind of new idea. And then we had that. And let me get my little... Put a little hole in it, like so, and then get out. Well, you know what I could do? I could also use a safety pin, perhaps. That might be something kind of new that I haven't done for a while. Or maybe I can, I don't know. Well, maybe not. It's not gonna flop around like the way I want. So, yeah, we're gonna go with my bulb pen. There we go. I'll just stick that right up there. Oh, isn't that cute? Yeah, I like that. It says birdseed on it.